Okay, so we're ready to print. I have my ink, a bench hook. This is same as the bench hook we were using before, but this time the bench hook is metal. We're going to use this to put our ink on. I have a brayer. This will be used to spread out the ink. Our printing plate, of course, and a magic spoon. This is going to spread our ink onto our paper. Now you're going to want to have these things ready to go because it moves pretty quickly. You don't want your ink to dry up. So I'm just using like a popsicle stick, and I'm going to put like that much, like a thumb-sized amount, and I have kind of weird thumbs, but thumb-sized amount of ink onto the bench hook here. And then I'm just going to spread it out, and it's going to kind of, hear it? Sounds kind of gooshy. What we want, it's starting to make a really nice sound. This is actually the sound that we want. That is the perfect sound. And it starts to kind of look, some printmakers say, like an orange peel. Okay, that's actually exactly what we want. We want that texture and that sound. If it's smearing around everywhere, it's too wet. It's going to smear into the cracks of your piece, and then it's not going to be a clean piece. You want a really nice, clean, smooth line across the top of this. Okay, so now I'm going to just go across the top, and I'm just rolling over everything that was left kind of flat. Okay, this roller only goes so deep, and my ink is only on that top layer. I'm going to put this back in here. And so now I have a nice clean situation. Now, artists kind of feel differently. Some artists like to slap their lino cut on top. I think that's a little more unpredictable. Personally, and there are lots of ways to do this. For our purposes, we're not going to register or anything. We're just going to kind of, what we say, eyeball it. We're going to put it on, and then we have this. This is our magic spoon. Why this is magic is because it's flat. So it's going to really make sure, and then it's like we're casting a spell. So we're going to make little circles. Now don't let this move around. Once this is on here, you don't want it to move or you're going to kind of smear it. You can kind of even now, maybe on the camera you can see it, but I'm starting to be able to see my print through. You see a little bit there? That means it's really picking it up. And if I want to, I can kind of peel back and tell that it's coming off. And now I have a print. So I'm going to pull this off carefully. And I have my first print. Now this is a great time if I see things I don't like, for example, and you can see that they're black. I could go back with my carving tool and kind of cut out some of these areas. But before I do that, I'm going to use another piece of paper, and I'm going to make a ghost print. This is going to pull off any extra. Now, some people kind of like these prints if you want a light print. All right, so now you can see what happens when it's a little more dried out, a little less ink, but also looks cool. Now you can, from here, you can experiment. You can add with watercolor pencils or colored pencils or whatever you really want to do to kind of play with this. I'm going to go back and carve out some of these areas. I don't want it right next to it. I want it to be a really clean line around the edges. So I'm going to kind of change a little bit, and then I'm going to do it again and see if I like it better.